How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Matthew and I live in this van with my two cats, Stella and Penny. You'll get to meet them in a minute. It could go either way. That's kind of the style of this channel. But anyways, I figured it was probably time to do a van tour of my build. Aside from a little bit of help from two of my really good friends, hi Mike, hi Chris, I did this entire build myself. Chris helped me with a bit of my subfloor, Mike helped me with some construction of the wheel wells and a cat litter retaining wall. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. I am very proud of it. It's a 2007 Chevy Express 2500 extended cab. It's got the 4.8 liter gas engine in it, and it's what we call home. Oh, here you go. There's Penny. Hi, Penny. Oh, it's Bad Reflections. There she is. So a lot of people came over after my van tour on the Van City Van Life channel, which was super cool, but a lot has changed on the inside of the van since then. Why not put together just a little video? I say little video, kind of makes it sound like it'll be a short video. I tend to have problems keeping things short. So I guess we'll start with the outside. I'm just gonna leave them on. I keep taking them off every single time I turn the camera on. Just gonna do my whole David Caruso thing, CSI Miami. There's not a lot going on the exterior of the van yet, which the van's name is Lucky, if you didn't know. So Lucky doesn't have a lot going on the exterior. At the back here, I do have one of those cargo racks that goes in the hitch receiver, and my spare tire is here, super ugly. My diesel jerry can, even uglier, and the cat litter, which I use wood pellets for cat litter. There's a video about it on the channel. We don't need to go into detail. Man, with all these little mess ups, I'm really glad it's not super freezing today. I reside primarily in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm not a big fan of this solution. The reason we're using this at all is because of my spare tire. It suffered from the stereotypical Chevy rust problems. It was underneath, and I basically just had to boot F it off when I was rotating my tires. It's a whole thing. There's a video on that as well. The only other real thing going on the outside of Lucky is on the roof, which are my Rhino racks, and that is also where I have mounted my Smitty built awning, which is something that I had on my Toyota Tacoma before I had to get rid of that and started van life. Yeah, as you can see, there's lots of room for expansion. I'm outside the city a ways at a public park area, and it was super quiet when I pulled in, but now it's just absolutely bustling with people with ski poles and dogs in wagons and every other darn thing. So we're gonna move and continue the tour, hopefully somewhere a little bit more private. Where did you people come from? I don't know why. Because I'm talking to my camera and I'm being all flamboyant about what I'm doing. Granted, for a YouTube video, so I shouldn't care, but it's just one of those things when there's just people out minding their own business. And it can be a little weird. So I was hearing my echo there for a second. So now we're here. It's still nice and pretty. The last thing we talked about was the roof rack and the awning up there. I'm not gonna waste my time deploying the awning. It comes out like this and has legs that go here. And then it gives you a little roof right there, in case you don't know what an awning is. Hello? It's very quiet where I am right now. As I have my setup right now, I do not use my side doors to come in and out of the house. I always go in through my driver's door, and that is because I keep my cooler or refrigerator right here. That's not pee, it's diesel. So there is what Lucky looks like with the doors wide open. The paneling here on the door, right? So this paneling is all throughout the interior of Lucky. It's on the walls. Those are wall panels that you can get at a home improvement store called Lowe's. And I did it everywhere. Walls, roof, and all four of the cargo doors, if that's what we want to call them. A lot of people in the van life community, we've seen these garbage cans before. Apparently they are exclusive to Canada. They're just a little Glad, I think they're called the dorm mate or college mate, or I can't remember what they're called, but they're really small, contoured, and they work great. Where you put your garbage. There's garbage in there. This is a necessity, I feel like, especially when you're out camping, having a knife, quick access on the door. I used piping for gas. This is black piping, again, got at places like Home Depot or Canadian Tire to build myself a nice handle so I can close the door. Again, usually only in the summertime when I do use the side door. Oh, I say that, but I didn't have my cooler in the summer, so I don't know if that will still be a thing. But there's a nice pretty handle there regardless. Hi, Penny. See, there we go. This is Penny. This is one of the two kitties that I do my van life with, right? We do the van life. She's very food motivated, in case you couldn't tell. She's a little wide this way and a little wide that way. Hey, I'm trying to talk about you. She's like, yeah, you're embarrassing me. Let me give myself a cut, just so it's not so crazy on import. You can't come out right now, okay? We're filming a tour, and I need you to look really cute, okay? That'd be great. So I'll talk about it a little bit more probably once we go actually inside Lucky proper. As I mentioned, I did the build pretty much myself, and I did it from furniture that I had when I moved out of my sticks and bricks apartment. Another one of the reasons I'm doing van life is I lost my job as a result of the pandemic. I lost the relationship with the mother of my child. I got a little daughter that when this video goes live, she's probably about 20 months old. And I needed a solution quick with a whole bunch of debt and no place to go. I mean, I had my parents' place to go. All of this is on the channel. This isn't really what this video is about, so we're not gonna get into it too much. But I didn't have money to just go out and buy supplies, which is a good thing because lumber's is holy Dinah. But I used what I had, which was a lot of IKEA. No, I don't know what IKEA is. Can you tell me in the comments below? IKEA. I had a lot of IKEA furniture from my time in my sticks and bricks, as well as furniture from my grandparents. And I knew as soon as I made the decision to get into the van, I was gonna repurpose absolutely as much as I could, or just as much as I could, not necessarily absolutely. It's always an absolute. And the first place that we can see it with this angle here is Penny. Just kidding. You're just loving the camera today, eh? This is what I constantly refer to as my water station because there's my sink with, I meant to do the dishes. That's really embarrassing. Okay, so cat food, this is where they eat when it's really cold out because when their food is on the ground, their water tends to freeze. Penny's just marking everything, so that's great. Thank you for rubbing your scent everywhere. Super nice of you. As I was saying, sink, right? Down here, I built a door. This whole little water station unit was built out of those little 2-drawer Malm dressers from IKEA. I hacked off a side of each and glued them together with glue and screws. And that's how I got the size that I got, right? So one dresser there, one dresser here. This is just a vinyl wrap that I got off Amazon. Faux marble, if you will. Hello, Penny. Okay, I used a plank from, I think it was the desk I was using as my like work table through the entire build. I think that's where this came from. I could be wrong. I'd have to, it's been a while. But I built myself a little fold out table here so that I can cook. Again, it's really only useful in the summer. Well, I mean, it was kind of nice the other day when my buddy brought me coffee. We used it for about 30 seconds to put our coffees on just to say, hey, look what I have. Penny likes to use it as her balcony. But Penny, I need to open it up now. Well, wait, let's see if we can do this. Little latch here just to hold everything in. Ooh, you're gonna go for a ride. And we can open this up. And this gives me access to my water. I don't usually fill my water this way. I usually fill it while I'm inside Lucky, again, because it's winter. That'll change in the summertime when I can be out more. Underneath here is just the typical stuff you would find under any kitchen sink in a sticks and bricks. I've got my paper towel, the cat food, the gray water tank, which is just another water jug that I kind of cut. I'll show you when we get inside from the other side. And I'm just gonna close this up. Penny, hold on to your butts. I know you only have one butt. Well, sometimes it looks like you have two. Not trying to be rude, I'm just saying. And then on the side of the water station is where I mounted my diesel tank for my fuel. This I'm not too impressed with. It's only a 10-liter tank. Being where I am in Canada, which is Alberta, we get really cold. So I will be replacing that with a 20-liter military-style fuel jug fairly soon. Look for that video at some point. I don't know when. What else can I talk about here? I can talk about my step area. And, oh, no, that's where the dishes went. Put them back in this thing. This is a mirror. Hi. Comes in handy when you need to look at how crazy your hair is in the morning. I didn't insulate my floor. I recently added these foam insulation, not even insulation, they're just foam mats from Walmart. That video is gonna come out very soon as well. But I didn't wanna spend so much money on proper insulation on the floor because after watching a few other van lifers, they just say there's no point in insulating the floor. I feel like those people reside in the desert and probably have never been in a Canadian winter. Although the video I was watching, he did say that he was in Alaska without insulation. That's probably why I made that decision. I just did whatever that's called, that tongue and groove laminate flooring that went throughout all of Lucky. I built the step out here because I knew I wanted my water station to be here. And in building this little step area, I ended up with a nice little cubby, which was just like a happy accident. And in there right now, I've just got bungee cord, some work gloves. What gloves are those? I've got another pair of gloves apparently. That's cool. And a broom to sweep out the step, which is, it comes in handy. Oh, I do have a fire extinguisher. It's right here. I need to find a place to mount that. Little inconvenient where it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this area, which I also think is a wrap on me needing to be outside. This tour is going great. Oh no, I lied. There was one more thing. It's a paper towel rack, right? It's just a regular little paper towel rack. It's a tension-based one. It's got a lot of tension, but it works fairly well. It's not, it doesn't roll super easy. You kind of hear the clicking. And I'm using the blue paper towel right now just because I find that it goes further than the really cheap white paper towels I was buying. Plus, it's really good for like wiping your dipstick when you're doing your oil. All right, Penny, we gotta close the door. Look out. Oh, that's not shut. Watch your butt. Watch your butt. You're so brave. Bye-bye, Penny. I was just about to go inside and I remembered. One more thing, right? I do have shore power, which I installed in a video a ways back, and I actually just had to recently replace this. That video will be coming out in the future as well. My videos are all over the place if you haven't gathered that by now. So it's just the Noco shore power plug, right? It's just a hole through the side and a regular sort of AC extension cord on this side. And this has come in super handy for the way my van life style is right now. Okay, let's go inside. My hands are starting to get a little cold. And here is Miss Stella. Did we get a shot of you earlier? I don't think we did. Hello, darling. This is the other cat. The three of us were the three best friends that anybody could have, right? This, as long as you feed me. These, oh, my light just came on. Apparently my camera thought it was too dark in here. That's all right. These are the insulation panels that I just kind of tape up inside those windows there. Penny's enjoying having them off right now. But those come in handy again for the winters for where we are. But I just took them off for the sake of the tour. Sake of the tour. Sake of the tour. Okay. This whole area here, we don't need to go over it. It doesn't need to be part of the tour. This is what a lot of people affectionately call the dog house of these cargo vans. And it's just boy mess right now. And there's gloves and my other phone for my music and, you know, change and extra keys and just nonsense. But one thing I usually try to keep up here with me is the remote for my house lights, as I call them. Boom, right? Makes it super, yikes. We're gonna have to do a little bit of cleaning before we get to the back. So I like to keep the remote there for when I get in, and then I have a spot for it in the back as well. So let's come on back here and see. Before we get back to the water station, to sort of show you this side of it, I did install this blackout curtain. You know what, let's just get it out of the way now. Right here, there's my pee bottle. Bye-bye. It's not the best. I'm not the happiest with the way I've done this, but it is on a nice, I guess it's kind of like hospital curtain track up here. And I need to crimp these because look, they keep coming off. So these hooks, these little alligator clip ones, I bought at IKEA. They aren't the ones that came with these rollers. The one that came with the rollers were just hooks. And like a savage, when I was in BC visiting my family once, that's when I installed this. You can see these little holes here on the curtain. It's because I just stabbed the hooks that came with the whole Amazon package through there. It didn't work very well. So that's why we upgraded with the ones from IKEA. Although I still have this problem happening here. This headliner is all busted because I went up there and I installed some insulation and whatnot, and I haven't been able to get the headliner back up since. What I want to do is just get a little piece of wood, install it here so that we can prevent this gapping from happening, because no matter how like taut I get this curtain, it always tends to sag a little bit. Not that stealth camping really is a huge thing, but if I ever find myself in a situation where I want to do that or I need to be able to do that, I would like to be able to block that light out just a little bit more. One thing I like to switch into as soon as I get back in Lucky are my slippers, which I got as a Christmas present from my incredibly awesome cousin. She comes up a lot in conversation on the channel. Now we're nice and warm. We got our, I was gonna say booties. And then here is the other side of where we were, right? So the water station. Penny's still, I think she's just hanging out because she really wants wet food, but you don't get wet food until dinner and you've got plenty of hard food, so don't give me any nonsense. So let's, oh my goodness gracious. Look, the sink is clean. So it's all another latch and a handle, and I got 2 doors on this side that gives me access to underneath here. Right? So this is where I keep a few other things, like I was saying. So I've got my Ryobi tools. This is my jigsaw and my impact driver. First aid kit. Not a very good one, but it's better than nothing. This awesome, very new Tupperware container is where I keep the cat's hard food. These are garbage bags for the poo bucket. Yuck. And I guess I should have turned the light on. Wait a second. We don't have to cut. I can solve this with the light on my hip. Bang. Yay. Ooh, whoa. This is one of those Reliance water jugs, I think. And this I just modified to be my gray water tank. Sorry, the cats were getting into it. It was a whole thing. I had to move their food down here. Penny's still not impressed with me, but that's just the way it is, Penny. You're gonna have to just learn to deal with it. My sink is just a stainless steel bowl that you can get like anywhere, Walmart, and it's not attached. It's just in here so that I can take it out, and that gives me access to my gray water tank to give it the old heave-ho. The Kugelin little, what goes on top of a water jug, right? Look, running water. Don't waste it because come on now. It's funny, a lot of these little like quips I've already done in my previous van tour because so far we haven't really gotten anything new. But look, I've got a plant. It's not real though, but it gives a nice aesthetic. One of the other newer additions I've installed was this little basket here, which has become great little sort of multi-function use for my knife, my soda stream bottle. I got my jet boil, my lucky hat, my other hat back there. Up here, I installed, this is where I put the rest of the black piping that I was mentioning earlier. And this has become a nice sort of rack for all of my cleaning bottles. And no, these only fall off. And this one's the only one that's ever fallen off, the vinegar one, when it gets really rocking and rolling. So there's a license plate that says Matt. And then up here, I've got 2 hooks as well, just standard hooks. Oh, sorry, 3, because my jacket's on that one, and I found that this is a great spot for my little camping stool. My brother bought me that when he was visiting me while I was doing the van build, and that is what I'm sitting on when I do my live streams, which, if you've just joined the channel, I just do very short, quick live streams. They're usually like 20, 30 minutes, nothing major. Excuse me, I need to talk about what you're on. Thank you. So this is my Refrigeration Solution, which it's just a white rock cooler, which I talk about this in an upcoming winter camping video, so I'm not gonna go into it too much. But it's kind of like a Yeti equivalent as far as I know. I know nothing about coolers, but this little guy works really well. And as far as I can tell, it's local, which is become more important to me ever since the whole pandemic thing. I don't have a lot of stuff. I've got milk, I've got coffee creamer, usually beer, cheese. Tonight I've got ground beef because it's going to be taco night, which if you've just met me, I love tacos. That's pretty much it for this area. I'm looking around real quickly trying to see if there's anything else. The only other thing that's in shot is the LCD controller for my diesel heater, which we're not going to go into too much. There's a whole series where that thing tried to kill me. We had words. It was a whole thing. So let's switch over to the other side, which is all the stuff that's behind me. I need a minute though. So before we actually get over and I start talking about everything, I thought I'd talk about my little pot lights. That's what I call them. They all just came in a pack. There was what, 1, 2, there's 6 of them from Amazon. They're all wired to the same switch, so they all come on right now. We'll probably change that in the future because it would be nice to have sort of lighted zones. Especially when we're talking about stealth camping or when I'm doing my live streams. Yeah, they're all just wired and everything is wired, not everything, but my lights, my diesel heater, my LED lights, which we have nice green lights, they run the perimeter of Lucky. Boom, 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 and I can change it because just whenever I'm feeling like a 16-year-old girl, no big deal. Okay, so now focusing on this side, again, out of scrap wood that was left over, like from the build of building like this cabinet and the water station and whatnot, I built this little spice rack. I was very proud of it in that video. And yeah, I like how it stands out. This is just a little holder that I actually got from my daughter's mother's father. He built me this little beer holder with the camera on it and beer cap remover up here, and it's become a nice little caddy for, well, as you can see, sugar and a lint roller, and super sanitary. Put that down there for now. See, boy, mess, just stuff everywhere. So this, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Just one of those nice 3-drawer plastic cupboard thingies. It's just bolted on with these little L brackets to the cabinet, and it's great. I've got like my coffee filters, some instant oatmeal, my utensil drawer down. Yikes! But you see, this little basket up here, again, was just something that I found at the dollar store. I got my K-bar knife in there, and garbage, apparently, that I need to get rid of, right? NyQuil, rags, just odds and ends stuff. This was built out of, again, scrap wood for the door and then leftover wall paneling, and I just made this little overhead cabinet, right? And it's just got my soda stream, propane bottle, extra compressed gas for the soda stream itself. That's the mug that I got to send to the winner of the mug contest we had. This is slowly becoming my subscriber wall. I did this the other day, started putting up cards and artwork and little trinkets that my subscribers have sent me, and I really like how it's coming together, and I'm excited to sort of get it covered. I'm doing this for, well, 2 reasons. One, I want to have my subscriber stuff that they send me on a place that I can see it, that can keep me inspired. And 2, I hate this cabinet, so the more stuff that I can sort of put on it in a positive way, it's making me feel a little bit better about the cabinet. And then underneath here, I just got a couple of these push-on lights They're okay. The batteries are clearly dying. These aren't off very high quality, but they are nice to give a little bit more light if I'm doing anything in this area, which actually doesn't happen very often. It's a lot of talking, and it's a lot harder when I'm just doing this by myself rather than just having somebody follow me around with a camera. This is, I guess I call this my kitchen cabinet, even though I very rarely use this to like prep food. Again, it's got the same marble vinyl wrap on it. And the outline of it was a TV stand, like an entertainment unit that was left over from the Sticks and Bricks. And these drawers came out of a dresser of my grandmother's. They were actually a completely different color. I painted them orange and white to go with the rest of the color scheme in Lucky. This is Penny's tail. It was not part of the build. And I just have them on these little drawer slides, just from Amazon. Pretty basic stuff. The top one, right? Canned goods, cat treats. Thank you, subscribers. Penny likes them. Stella wants nothing to do with them. The top one and the bottom one needed to have latches on them. The middle one stays. It never pops open, so it has no latch on it. And this is just where I keep my like pots and pans and this obnoxious egg container. And then this is my junk drawer. We don't need to look in there. And then over on the far side here, I had space left over. This was all just stuff that kind of naturally shaped itself. Oh good, we've got Christmas decorations and a mask and a whole bunch of propane. I went a little ham buying propane in preparation for moving into the van. I think I've gone through 1 bottle so far, so that was a little bit of overkill. Regardless, I've got this cabinet space for, well, it's propane right now, but once that finally runs down, we'll have space for whatever. Bags of chips fit in here really well. A lot of these doors were leftover MDF board from my wheel wells. So that just made doors out of them. And then down here, I've got more canned goods, popcorn, some boozes, my hot chocolate, my toque. It's one thing in van life is just like, this isn't exclusively the food cupboard. It's just to just shove stuff in their cupboard. Coffee, you know, pancake mix, and a whole bunch of stuff at the back. This drawer, a lot of people are familiar with. I loved being able to include this because this came out of another dresser of my grandmother's, and I had leftover drawer slides because the drawer slides came in a pack of 4. When I ordered them, I only needed the 3 for these 3 drawers. So I had these left over and I came across this drawer and I got a little bit of a sweet tooth. Oh, and this is all the stuff from my subscribers as well, all the nice like letters that I've gotten so far. But everybody else is like, what? Yeah, Lucky's got a candy drawer. Lucky needed to have a candy drawer. Don't even worry about it. And then again, same thing up here. It's just another cupboard that I built together from MDF board. Again, scrapped, leftover wood. This stuff under here was all cull wood to build this shelf. And it's just my Savage drawer, right? Soda Stream, Pop-Tarts, kosher salt, peanut butter back there, right? My green tea on the days that I want to feel a little health conscious. Lots of pasta sauce, lots of boozes because I like my rum, oil, spaghetti, right? It's a cupboard. This is where the cactus light lives right now. I want to fashion this into being part of Lucky's power system permanently. I just haven't got there yet, but it's all ready to go. I just got to do it. But for now, so the cactus ain't flopping around when we're driving, that's where it lives. And this has become my sticker cabinet, as you can clearly see. Oh, and it's nice up here. I don't know, how messy is this? Oh, very. I got power, I got plug-ins. I only ever use one of these because I'm always scared that this wire that powers this unit just isn't thick enough. There's my Mountaintop coffee mug that I use quite regularly. I don't know what I was doing there. There you go. See, van life. And then I didn't clean at all. This stuff is exhaust sealant for cracks and stuff on your muffler and whatnot. I got a little game of memory from my mom for Christmas. This is great for when I'm real bored. I got extra Mountaintop stickers up here. That's where they ended up buying. Oh, look, a gobstopper. That's brilliant. You shush. Good grief. And here's my other plant. Again, not real. This is one of the more recent additions. It'll be in an upcoming vlog, but I put this hook here for me to be able to hang my flannels on when I go to bed, which has worked out quite nicely so far. I've used it once. This is another cupboard storage area that I built. I knew I wanted a spot to keep my movies, so all of my movies are up there. Tweety's my favorite Looney Tune, so he gets to come with me wherever I go. And then I got my vitamins up here, my toothbrush, and just sort of little odds and ends. I've got poop bags for the cats, bloody everywhere, it feels like. So that's what I've also got. A couple of my books of poetry that I have up there. Yes, I do read poetry, but really only Robert Service, so calm down. And then built this cupboard here. This, I hate everything about this. I need to go through this. It has just become a catch-all for, it's basically another junk drawer, and I hate it, but it is a great place to keep my butane for my jet boil, because that keeps it off the floor, which prevents it from being cold, which means that it functions at 100% efficiency. Then right below that, I built another little sort of just huge void storage area I just had a platform here attached to, I believe under here, they're the same as in that other cupboard with the little Colwood. They're like little 2x2s. And then I installed another 3-banger. Again, this was all just stuff that was left at my parents' house that they were going to get rid of. And I was like, okay, well, I better put it in Lucky because levels and areas to put things are super handy. So I've actually got 3 of them. One there, one here that you saw, and then one back there for my tidy whities. It's just a little storage area. It's just a piece of MDF that creates this area. And then below it, which we can't really see because it's a nightmare in here, but in there is my diesel heater. We're not gonna go over it. A diesel heater is what a lot of van lifers use, and there's a whole video series about it, but that's where it is, and it ducts into the wheel well over here. And then my vent, okay, well, hang on. The vent's right there. That's where it comes out. And there's the cat's scratching post and my light stand. Good grief, it's a mess in here. There it is. There's the diesel heater. I have one and it keeps me alive. Okay, what do we got over here? So in a fairly recent video, I installed this little sort of like bungee cord situation for my vacuum that keeps it there while we're in transit. Up here, I've installed some, I want to say Rhino, but I don't think it's Rhino rack, but they're just like little straps to hold stuff to the wall. That's where I keep my walking stick. That's also going to come in super handy when I have to inevitably buy the shotgun for when my daughter starts dating. But for now, the walking stick's just fine. And then here is the wheel well box. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, but it does open up, right? I built it with my buddy. And I just keep a whole bunch of like extra blankets and stuff in there, and it's on hinges and everything. But there's a lot of crap here right now, as you can see. Like a vacuum with a strap system that's not working. And now we're getting to the like harder area to do anything around, which is the bed area. Calm down, that's not what I mean. It's not finished how I would need it to be. So give me a second. We're actually gonna clean this area up to make it a little bit easier. Okay, not as bad as I thought. This is my blanket that my cousin made me for Christmas, and it's amazing. I talked about it in my Christmas Day video, but it's got patches on it, and I'm really excited to put more patches on it as the journey continues, so to speak. Here's the back side of this station. I mounted this in the same day that I talked about the blanket. There's a photo of my daughter on some artwork that she did. The ever popular baby wipes at every van lifer. It's just a prerequisite. You can't do van life without them. It's a rule. It's in the book. And I got my battery monitor up here. Don't believe that for a second. And this is where I keep my controller. So this is the spot where I would keep my other remote for the house lights is right there. So there's a little bit more room here. And that's probably where I will put stuff like the charge controller for my solar, potentially, when we get there. And then, hang on, I gotta take my slippers off because I'm gonna get right up on my bed here. And then over here, we're gonna flip around. Hi-ya! And I love the way that this all came together. So these are my little hanging cabinets. That's not Canadian, that's just tripping over your tongue. We could use this. This is a great little LED light off Amazon. It was recommended to me by one of my Patreon supporters. She has it in her van and it is amazing. I built this when I was camping at a campground in the woods. It's very simple. I just a quick look up on a video on YouTube and I was able to build these hanging cabinets, and it's where I keep my clothes, right? Like they're not tidy. Again, boy clean. I do have to go through here and fix these all up. This last one's kind of, again, become a little bit of a junk drawer for now because I'm still big into cutting back and purging things out of the van. I still feel like there's too much stuff in here that I just don't need. Like in that wheel well box that I'm not going to open, there's just stuff shoved in there, like seasonal stuff. And there's another wheel well box because the van's got 2 wheels in the back. Under the bed, granted, it's not as big because it has to fit under the bed. But again, it's got like my shorts and tank tops for summer in it right now. The nice thing about this whole van life thing, it really teaches you to sort of look at everything from a different perspective, which is super cool. These were super simple to build and it all just came. It's just MDF here. This was the leftover Colwood. And again, leftover wall paneling because that stuff's expensive. I didn't want it to go to waste. That was super easy to build that frame, and then just the hinges and everything else that's on here. And that's a little mount for light. Boom. And this stuff up here, like this trim that runs all through Lucky, these white boards, that was a big bookcase where I was actually keeping all of my movies and my sticks and bricks. I cut them in half, painted them white, and they became my trim. And underneath is where I ran the LED lights. Last thing here is I built a perch for the cats, and they both love it. They both use it. I guess you get that light and actually light it up a little bit. right? It's just a little extension. It could have been a fourth cupboard, albeit a smaller one, but no, I made it into a perch for the cats. You can see that before these cabinets were here, there's that hook there. I need to remove that because what am I gonna hang there? These were leftover slats from an IKEA bed that I used, and those are actually all throughout Lucky. Like on all of my ribs, I reinforced them with those leftover slats to give me points to be able to attach my roof panels with screws and whatnot. And then this under here is the cat's litter box in there. There's a whole video about that where I built this entire framework. They can get in this way, right, to do their business, and then I can clean it and access it from the outside, opening up the door, which I guess I should probably go do at some point. Not clean their litter, I've done that, but I mean open the door up so we can see the stuff on the doors and the bed and the battery and everything, which will probably be the conclusion to this epic thing. But first, before we get to that and looking at the actual bed itself, I just sleep on foam, right? It's just a 4-inch foam with another 1 inch of that bumpy foam on it, and then my sheets on it. And the dimensions of the bed are 6 foot by 4 foot. So I usually sleep at a little bit of a diagonal because I am over 6 feet in height. The thing is that my bed moves, it's modular, but my foam is not cut in half. So it's just one big piece of 6 by 4 foam. So when I turn it into a couch, which is what it does, the foam just folds in half. But it'd be a lot easier if it was two 2 foot by 6 foot pieces. You know what I mean? But we're not there yet. So this is going to be a time. Let's do it. And would you believe that I just totally forgot that I have this rack here, which is going to make it a lot more difficult than I initially thought. Oh, and this door doesn't open. This is the other problem. This is another reason I want to get rid of this rack. Because right now I can't even get this door all the way open, so I can't even show you everything. We can do a little bit of a quick sneak here. So again, I've got the wall paneling on this door, and I mounted, this is one of those units or whatever, those fabric storage things. They go on the back of your seat. I modified it, cut off the top and whatnot, and screwed it to the door, and it's just become like a little bit of a makeshift garage. That's where I keep a whole bunch of stuff, like my extra silicone, my extra loom. I've got an extra harness for the cats down there, WD-40, my screwdriver. And then here again, after I had the bed done, this turned into a space and I put a door on it, and again it's become my little garage area. So that's this whole area back here has kind of become that. And this is my distilled water, because Lucky's house batteries are flooded batteries. If you don't know, you have to top them up. Okay. Let's see if I can just do this from the first person perspective, and hopefully this goes quite simply. So, right, plywood bed platform, built with a piano hinge, 72 inches long. So I can do this. And then this, and it will close right up. There's still stuff underneath the bed, but I've got a support leg that I have on a hinge that I can actually slap up, hi Penny, so that it's out of the way and the whole thing does go. But that was a little bit of overthinking on my part. I don't ever need it to be all the way back for transit purposes. I usually have the bed just in bed form, and I've added a latch system to keep it in a bit more of a comfortable couch formation when I want to do that, and it's usually just like this. All right, so I have a latch up on that side underneath that will hold this at about that angle quite comfortably, and once the foam is on it, it's really nice. That's how I've been doing my movie reviews lately. It fell down. Oh, we'll close that back up. And then under here you can see, so again, there's that wheel well box. I think it's latched, so we won't be able to open it, but same, there's just, my jack is in there, my booster cables, and a lot of my summer clothes are in there. You coming? Hi, how you doing? So a DC to DC charger is under here as well. All the power cables come back here. A lot of people are gonna be like, that looks like a nightmare, but I understand how it works, and everything is fused properly. My battery charger is right there. It's that Noco Genius 2600. Seems to work pretty well. It's connected to my shore power. I didn't show you that, but from the shore power plug, I've just got like a power bar plugged into that, and then the power bar itself kind of runs back here. When I don't want to be using the power bar, it will tuck up under my cabinets pretty well, actually. Good, you? Oh yeah, I'm just shooting a YouTube video. So fairly simple setup for underneath the bed for sure. And then here, how easy is this gonna be? This is this is where the batteries are. So I run off of two 6-volt golf cart batteries, I believe is how they're like kind of known. And I've got them together in, I don't know if it's series or parallel. whatever it is that makes the voltage higher but keeps the amp hours the same, because it needs to be a 12-volt system, right? That's what we run off of. But because they're flooded batteries, they had to be in a sealed box, which is something that I actually wasn't prepared for. So this was actually kind of quite a fun project to figure out and just build it to the dimensions that I needed. So it's in a sealed box, and here's my battery system, right? So one battery here, second battery there. This is a vent, right? Had to drill another hole through Lucky. I didn't show you the vent on the outside. I'll give you a quick peek as soon as we're done here. This is where the power all comes from, right? So you don't need to go into it in too much detail. I might do that in a future video. But this thing is super handy. This is the watering system so that I can top them up so that I don't have to open up each individual valve and put water in it. This thing has been a lifesaver. One thing that I need to do to just make this system perfect is drill a hole in the side of the box like I do for my wires, maybe over here, so that this hose can hang out and I don't have to open up the battery box every time I want to fill it. Oh my gosh, is that it? Oh, hang on, we'll do some like last minute things. Okay, so got the bed platform back down. I can slowly start putting Lucky back together. But this is the door that's attached to the cat litter area, right? That's how I get to the cat litter, to get it out, clean it all out. And then, as I pointed out near the beginning of this video, this is where the extra wood pellets are. So I bring the litter box out, shake it, clean it, and then I can put new ones in from out here. I like having this on the outside. I'm gonna miss that when this rack does eventually go away, but maybe I'll have a rooftop carrier or something, because having a big bin like this on the inside, super frustrating. The only place for stuff like that to go is under the bed, and then you can't turn it into a couch as easily. And then of course over here, super cool finish. This is the vent for that battery box where it comes out. Got it off Amazon sort of thing, sealed it up with weather sealing. It's not pretty, but man is it functional. And that's just kind of what it comes down to with the whole van. Everything's functional and I am totally fine with that. And I'm super proud that I was able to build it all of like myself. Yeah. I will always give my two buddies the shout out for the help that they gave, because it's weird to say I built this all myself, knowing in the back of my head that there were a couple days that they helped me with. But on the whole, the majority of this build, I did on my own, educating myself from other people online and taking the knowledge that I had from people like my grandfather and putting it into practice. And I have never been happier with my life since I moved into the van. And I will address this just at the very end of this video. I see a lot of like hate get thrown around over van lifers who may not be in their vans full time. Number one, that's silly. Just because you're a van lifer doesn't mean you have to just stay in your van, never leave it, and you can't go anywhere. That's nonsense. But I am 100% full time in my van. The only time I'm ever in a sticks and bricks is when I have my daughter at my cousin's house, and that's because my daughter is still so little. Don't be a savage. Oh, I've got window visors on here too. There's always going to be stuff you can talk about, and there will always be stuff that I can talk about going forward, because there's still lots of stuff that I want to add and change. I've learned so much from already being inside Lucky full time that I want to make little alterations here and there, and that's just, I really like that, because I've never been a homeowner, right? Because hello, but the idea of being able to like upgrade and modify and improve my home is super cool. So I'm going to leave that one here, guys. And that's just, you know, a tour of my tiny home. Thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. We would absolutely love to have you here. And until the next one, you guys, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves, and most importantly, be positive. And I will see you all in the next one.